I am a whole universe. Welcome to our weekly affirmation. And today we'll be talking about the affirmation, I am a whole universe. The structure of this segment is basically we say the affirmations 3 times. And then I will pose 2 questions that you can write down using your journal. And I will be using my journal. And I will talk about how to go on about answering those questions. Feel free to comment your answer, but you don't have to do it. You can just keep it to yourself. It's your private business. It's yours, it's private. Or you can post it if you feel comfortable enough. But feel free to post about how saying the affirmation makes you feel, how it made you feel, and how trying to find the answer made you feel, what type of journey took you on, and how long you took to, find an answer and write it down. Feel free to share. Okay? So let's get into it. I am a whole universe. I am a whole universe. I am a whole universe. How does that make you feel? Feel free to share. So the 2 questions that I have with this is, let me take my notebook. And they are, the first one is, why do I perceive myself as small? And the second question is, when did I start shrinking? I believe if we answer these 2 questions, we can find out the root of our doubt. Because affirmations, they work. However, sometimes the effect is a little bit, it's not what we're expecting and not what we will like. And that's because of our belief systems. So by answering these 2 questions, you're actively looking back at your belief systems and figuring out what is not supporting this statement. And by finding out the answer and answering it, you can untangle it. So the first question, why do I perceive myself as small? Well, the why behind our shrinking usually comes from us feeling embarrassed, us feeling too much, us feeling like, sometimes we needed to survive, so we cut off bits of ourselves. And that behavior has somehow stayed with us. We have integrated it to the extent that it's part of us now. But that's not the truth of us. The only reason why we cut off ourselves was because we felt unsafe. We felt unsafe because when we expressed a certain part of ourselves, it wasn't accepted. It wasn't welcome as we would have liked. And because of that, we shrinked ourselves and we kept doing it again and again. Whenever we see signs of not being welcome, not being accepted, we shrinked. And it was because we do not feel safe enough. But the truth is, we are not too much. And we have no reason to be embarrassed because of the way we express ourselves. If we ourselves consider something an embarrassment, then you have to look inwards and ask yourself, what is the drive behind this expression? And why is it coming out the way it does? I believe once you understand it, the drive and the way it expresses itself, you can accept that bit of yourself, you can call it back to you, and then You will stop cutting yourself off. You will stop cutting bits of yourself. It's not an easy thing to do, not gonna lie. But you owe it to yourself to be whole, because you are whole. Okay? And to the question 2, once you've pinpoint why you shrink yourself, you're gonna figure out the when. The when is always connected. And once you figure out the when, in that case, you can look at it within that context. And then you can give it a new interpretation, because now you understand the drive behind it. And you understand why the expression was in that form. So do it. Give it a new interpretation. And we call the bits of yourself that you have thrown away, you have put in the dark, and come into the light. Show us your whole universe. If someone doesn't accept it, that says a lot about them and less about you. What you can do is to just be true to yourself. Accept your truth. You're a believer of your truth. And the truth is your whole universe. So act like it. Act like it. You are a whole universe. So don't operate as small. Be big. Okay? So now you can sit back and answer those 2 questions, or maybe later. Just, feel free to write in the comment and tell us when and how your answer. If you feel like it, share your answer. I'm gonna write my answer now. Done. Let me read it out. Why do I perceive myself as small? To be honest, I think it started in kindergarten. In kindergarten, I had to behave in a certain way. And the truth is, I wasn't aware of the social etiquettes, because so far, I only had to be. But the more I venture out into society, the more I realize that I must mend myself. The way I am was not entirely right. I was too much. Yes. And the exact moment that it became extreme, that I cannot share. That's my private one. How long did it take you guys? Share in the comment. Bye.